All right, we have Philippe with us. Philippe Cousteau, are you with us?
I am. Good morning.
Good morning, or should I say, enchanté. What is your first language? It's got to be French, right?
You know, believe it or not, so my mother's American from here in Los Angeles, where I live now, and my father was French, but he passed away a few months before I was born in an airplane accident. So I was actually born here in LA and spent most of my life in the United States. I do speak French, but I would say English is probably my first language.
Yes, we got that down. Yeah, I mean, listen, I was born in the '60s, so I grew up watching your dad, Jacques Cousteau, and he was the number one guy when it came to scuba or anything underwater. So for you, did you take to it like a double entendre intended fish to water, or was it the kind of thing like, I want to be a baseball player, I want to play the violin, or it was in your blood?
You know, I just always loved the ocean, so I guess it was in my blood. You know, on my father's side, well, my grandfather and my grandmother's side as well, in the French, is a long line of like people in the Navy. So I think it goes back for many generations. A love for the ocean, and except for a short stint where I wanted to be a firefighter, I always loved the ocean.
Gotcha. Now, Philippe is here to talk about the 20th anniversary benefit, which is going to be here at the California Academy of Sciences next Friday, and it is the IOFF. Tell us more about this great international film festival.
Well, the International Ocean Film Festival, as you just said, has been around for 20 years now, and it's a terrific tribute and a showcase for the most exciting and immersive and inspiring ocean films and documentaries from around the world. And, you know, as a storyteller, someone that's grown up with media and storytelling, both my wife also, who's a journalist in her own right and has joined me over the last few years in making several documentaries about the ocean and books and all sorts of mischief that we've been up to. We're both tremendously honored to receive this award, this recognition for our work and our commitment to the ocean. So it's going to be a fabulous night, and I'm particularly excited because the film festival is featuring work by young filmmakers as well, which is near and dear to my heart. My organization, Earth Echo International, is a global ocean leadership and youth education organization. So young people are a big part of my work, and I'm thrilled that we're going to be highlighting some really extraordinary young filmmakers as well.
Yes, and your wife, Ashlan, as you said, is very involved as well. What's the one thing when you think about, I mean, as you said, your father, when he passed away and you didn't know him, what's the one thing that you sort of take from watching his films where, as you've grown up, you kind of say, I see myself in him right there?
You know, when I think about my grandfather was Jacques Cousteau, my father was Philippe Sr., and they were both making these films. And so being able to grow up, I did know my grandfather. I got to spend some time with him. He passed away when I was about 17. It was my father, Philippe Sr., who died just before I was born.
Okay.
But watching those films, it's you know, if there's anything that I think about when I watch the documentaries or read the books that they did, you know, a lot of people think my grandfather was this crazy Frenchman with a red hat and a big nose, kind of destined to explore the world and journey into the ocean. You know, originally he actually wanted to be a fighter pilot in the French Naval Aviation Program. That's why he joined the Navy. And he had a car accident and broke his back during training and was washed out of the program, and actually at first couldn't even walk. And they told him to swim in the Mediterranean every day to rebuild his strength. And after free diving and getting comfortable in the water, he was frustrated he couldn't spend more time underwater. And mind you, this is about 75 years ago. So he met an engineer, and they tinkered together, and they invented the aqualung, or scuba diving as we know it, which is the first time people could really explore the ocean freely and not tethered, you know, by a hose to the surface with big lead boots clomping around on the bottom. And then he made underwater cameras, and he did all these things. And so when I think about my grandfather, I think about his legacy. It's more a legacy of problem solving than anything else. And growing up, I've always loved to tinker and experiment and invent things. And and try and fix things. And so I think that sense of problem solving and curiosity is really what has defined what defined my grandfather, defined my father, and has defined a big part of my career and my work is always looking to solve problems. And one of the biggest problems we face in the world today is, the ocean systems that regulate our climate, that provide us water and food, and all those things are collapsing. And so how do we stop that?
All right, very well said. Philippe Cousteau, make sure to check him out at the International Ocean Film Festival, and that's going to be happening right here in our backyard at the California Academy of Science in Golden Gate Park next Friday at 6:30 p.m. Cocktail attire. Philippe, congratulations, and thanks for coming on.
Hey, delighted. Thank you so much for having me.